Coal mining, what's going on? Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I was just going to have a quick talk about what's happening with coal, because this has happened overnight. Apparently the Chinese government has told their energy providers to stop importing Australian coal. Now, a similar rumour went round about 3 months ago, and it turned out that the Chinese government had indeed told their energy providers to stop importing Australian coal, but they told them to stop importing all coal. So to use all the Chinese coal first, and then if you need anything else, then start importing it. I've had a few people send me questions about it. It's one of those unfortunate things that coal has become a bit of a political, or not a bit of a political football, it's become a political football, where it probably really shouldn't. My background's in hard rock, but what I know about coal is that the main coal projects that we do in Australia are all the darker coal. And if you have a look at this graph, back in 2013, the Chinese government had an oversupply of their dark coal, their black coal, and they threw it through their power stations over 6 months. And to everybody's surprise, it reduced emissions by about 18%. Now, because of that, that's what's driven both India and China and Japan and Germany to build new coal-fired power stations specifically to use this darker coal to get their emissions down. That's why India, the Adani power company from India, has got the coal reserve that they've got in Queensland. There's bucket loads of coal in India. It's just the problem is it's all that brown shitty stuff that's bad for worse for the environment than the black stuff is. So part of their program is to build new coal-fired power plants, but instead of using brown coal, they're going to use the black coal from Australia. Now, there's several countries around the world that you can source the darker coal from. Like anything else, I think China's seen what's going on with our politics and coal mines and getting access, and they've tried to diversify, and they have. They've diversified into Indonesia, into Africa for their darker coal projects, and I think this is what's going on at the moment, is them just bringing supply on at a different rate. I'm confident that the supply will go back up to where it was before, but for the short term, it's going to be a roller coaster. And one of the things that I would try to recommend to new starters, especially if you haven't already done it or you're thinking about doing it, before you go and spend thousands on tickets to try and get into the coal mines, have a really good think about what your chances of actually getting a job are in the circumstances that are going on. It's like I tell everybody, if you've got an uncle or an aunt or a parent or a friend, or you live in the town that the coal mine's located in, yeah, go for it, 100%. But if you're thinking about spending thousands of dollars on tickets and uprooting your life and moving from one area of the country to the other to chase a coal mining job, now is probably not the best time to do it. It's just going to be one of those things. I think it'll work its way through in 12 to 18 months, maybe even 2 years. But unfortunately for the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to be a political football. And what that means is that some mines will open, some mines will close. I follow the business news quite closely, and apparently BHP have got a mine in New South Wales that they've decided that if they can't find a buyer for, then they're just going to close it instead. So it'll be interesting to see how low they're prepared to go to sell it, opposed to just closing it outright, or whether they can find a buyer for it, because up to this point they can't seem to find a buyer for it. So coal mining, if you're a new starter, is probably one of those areas that is going to be real hit and miss for people. If you really want to have a go at getting into mining, check out the sponsors training, the Intro to Underground Mining. There's lots of hard rock underground jobs going in all the major states, so in Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia, and of course here in WA. Teaches you everything you need to know about how the mine works, so you can have that mining conversation with the superintendent or foreman when they do the hiring. If you can show them that you know how their mine works, then you've got something to offer them. That's what's going on in coal. I know it's not wonderful news for everybody, especially that's in the industry. Having been through my fair share of downturns, I completely understand what people are going through. It's not a wonderful time turning up to work and wondering whether you're going to have a job next week or not. Unfortunately, that's not going to go away anytime soon. So like I said before, if you're looking to get in, I wouldn't be ploughing thousands into tickets. If you've already done it, yeah, keep looking and see what comes up. But, you know, you probably should take a different tack, especially if you're really keen of getting into the industry in the next sort of 3 to 6 months. Then you really should take a tack into the hard rock underground or the hard rock exploration. Both areas are screaming out for people. You just have to go on to Seek and type underground or exploration in, and you will see all the jobs come up. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any more questions, just please send them through, and if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.